Good afternoon, everybody. Please give me a second. I need to log in to Thinkorswim. My charts have been closed for quite a few hours on my desktop. Let me grab a water too while this loads. All righty, gang. Again, we'll just wait one more second, allow people to sort of get in. Can we all see Thinkorswim? Perfect. All righty. So just wanted to do a little bit of review on sort of what the session held. It was not a very fun looking one. I'm pretty happy that I was far away from my desk during this shit. This is opening print in green here. And just a very slop chop day, a strong move early in the morning, no follow through and no downside follow through. I think that earlier this morning when we did our trade review session, my prediction was that the entire rest of the day would be inside this range from purple to purple here. Didn't turn out to be the case. We did get a couple of spikes beneath it, but not really. There was no clean trend developed here. So this is what I and me and the others in the trading community, we refer to these days as, whether we know it or not, whether we actually give it this formal name or not, these are death days, man. Truly, these are the days where people blow their accounts. These are the days, if you played SPX today, oh man. I mean, I'm sure you could have caught a couple nice moves. Don't get me wrong. On any given day, there's going to be nice trade opportunities if your exact thesis is right. So if your exact thesis was to buy the range lows and sell the range highs, sure, you could have made money on ES today. But the reality is that most of us are trend traders. We like to trade, not just most of us in the room, most of us in the world are trend traders. And there's no trend today. There's no edge in that, right? So there wasn't, yes, you could have scalped 20, 30, 40%. Hey, maybe you even caught 100% SPX trade. But the stress of this action just was not worth it today. And then you eventually get a breakdown of low of day, and then we just consolidate, fail to go lower, rally before coming right back down there. I mean, this is the definition of slop chop, right? So when you've been around the block for a few years, and most of the time it takes like 3 or 4 years to really get this through your head. And for me, that's how long it took. I wasn't until like, I want to say June or July of 2021 of last year for me that I was really able to take this step as a trader. Probably not really like even like, yeah, maybe June or July of last year where I was really able to start to like skip some of these days and just be like, this just isn't fucking worth it. Pardon the lack of French, but like, yeah, there was a few and far opportunities today. There are a few, right? So let's talk about a few of those. There was something like a Netflix had some relative strength and ran into the end of the day, right? That being said, this name has been a goddamn headache all week. We have tried to trade this thing a few different times. It has been gaps up that fails, then random weakness out of nowhere, yet we've still had some solid trades on it. So even though there was an opportunity to have caught a Netflix trade today, I asked myself, is this worth my time and energy? And I don't really think it was, right? Now, the contracts made a nice move, and you for sure could have caught something on Netflix, but you would have been playing in an individual name that was counter trend to the overall market beneath its opening print on any of these initial dip buys Then above here, it would have been a kind of a counter trend trade again because we had just failed to go higher. The market was trading lower. So I don't know. This move, while it looks like, well, there's a move there, and this is one of the like common misconceptions. And I've talked about this with a variety of different people at a variety of different times. There's this common misconception in trading that volatility equals profits. And it's like, that's the most stupid thing that I've ever heard in my life, because volatility does not increase profits. Nice action trends, that increases profits, right? Those are the opportunities. Trending markets are where people make their money, right? Volatility and just having movement on the day does not mean that you should be trying to force and trade and do all this shit. Just because a move like Netflix on this happened does not mean that you should have expected to make money off it. If you, again, take a look at what the SPY was doing while this was next to it, and what every other strong name on the board was doing, which was fading this initial pop. Netflix was kind of one name out of nowhere that had some random strength, right? So if you wanted to stay at your desk and potentially trade all the way until about 9:30 today to potentially have found a good entry that ends up working out nicely, you want to sit through the first 3 hours to then take that one trade and tell me that in those 3 hours, you're not going to do some dumb shit beforehand. I just don't believe you. To be completely honest, I just don't believe it. Right? So the moral of the story is avoiding today was more about me preventing doing dumb shit than I did really feel like I was missing anything that played out nicely, right? Because there were a few movers. Snow ended up moving. Again, I don't think I would have taken this trade even if I had stayed at my desk, because this is a strong push up and an aggressive failure. So getting back above the open here, right? Maybe there's a potential entry around here once we get back above the opening print. But even then, all of a sudden, your risk reward is starting to skew down a little bit. It's not as great. You're not buying this low, right? So for me, while there was a move here today, the question you got to ask yourselves is, am I patient enough to not have done some dumb shit in the first 2 hours while waiting for this to set up? I don't think that's the case. I think that today there was plenty of opportunity to do dumb shit, and the market knew it, right? There were plenty of bulls that got trapped on this initial move up who took scalps early in the morning, right? Like we had the Airbnb long that ended up working out. There's other trades that ended up working out from this first morning push. But if you were a horny bull who didn't consider the possibility of a range day, oh man, they roasted you quick. This is a harsh bar down, right? They killed your premium quick on all names, right? Snow, harsh bars down. Coin, harsh bars down. It was aggressive and you got trapped out of that. And it was very easy if you were long early this morning to have gotten potentially hit with like a shock factor, right? Where you're like, holy shit, I was just long. Why did this position just like die so quickly? Right? Like, oh my God, why? Right? And then all of a sudden you start moving your stop and you start adjusting your trade and it just ends up in a tilt-like moment. So I am hopeful that because I haven't heard much of anybody doing any dumb shit today, it's because people took the advice and chilled today and weren't very aggressive. And we all just kind of sat back and let the market be its bullshit. And those of you who were, if that was you, if you listened to the pre-market advice and the plan and all this, where we're like, hey, we're just going to chill. And hey, I'm leaving the desk. I'm not interested. Hey, all that. And you avoided this slop chop. For real, that's a big W. It's a big win. It's something that I didn't do for years of my trading career, and it dramatically held me back, right? Just because there is movement, just because this ES moved here, does not mean it was worth your time or energy to trade, right? If you're trading with the trend here and you're trying to go long, not much pullback, no pullback in this opening move for a potential long up here. If you're a short trader trying to fade this move, underneath the opening print, you wait for a little bit of a rally to get short. Well, even this 1 bar rally, if you took that, you were a happy camper for all of about 5 minutes. And then you were getting roasted to the upside. So neither bulls nor bears won today. Today was simply a consolidation day in which the market had said, hey, we've moved up 3 days in a row. Bulls are super horny because they think it's the end of the recession and we're just going to keep moving up forever. And they're buying weekly calls. Bears are also super horny because we've been moving up for 3 days straight in a bear market. 3 days straight of moving up in a bear market means that bears are very vital. They're very virile. They're happy. They're excited. They're ready to fucking pounce because it's 3 days up. Bears have been there. So what did the market decide to do today? You suck to both of them, right? And this action was communicated, and I'm very, 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 very happy to have led by example today and not done shit. Again, if you found a way to make money off this action, more power to you. Not saying that there's a wrong way to trade or a wrong way to have done this, but if you did, I ask you, what was the R multiple on that trade? And then what was the mental capital that you risked? Was it really worth it? How many of you out there clawed just to get to break even today? Where afterwards you look back and you're just like, God damn, if I had just left at 7 a.m., 30 minutes into the day, it would have been a great day, or it would have been a good day, or it would have just, any day, it wouldn't have been as boring or as stressful as annoying, right? I have a feeling that quite a few people, and I know from having seen in the chat that quite a few people have experienced that a bit today, where if they could go back in time, they would simply just not trade. And unfortunately, we're not always able to predict this kind of stuff in advance, right? Today, I think it was kind of a straightforward thought process, right? The market had moved up literally $23 off the lows in 3 days of trading. That warrants some inside consolidation. And hey, if it's not going to consolidate, if it's not going to be stuck in this range, guess what? We're either going to get above or below the previous day's high. So by not being able to do that, the market really just told us to fuck off today. And I listened. And my mental capital really was a happy camper that I did. My literal capital was a happy camper that I did. I for sure could see myself in an alternate universe having gotten in some serious SPX-like trouble today from the chop. These are the days that I used to blow my port, people. These are the days because I would have FOMO from missing one of the past few days' moves, and I would have no one there to tell me to fuck off. And even if they did tell me to fuck off, even in the days when I did have a mentor, even in the days when Eric or Chris or Kansas, it would tell me to fuck off, I probably didn't listen. Truth be told, I didn't listen to them with a lot of what they said. They were like, hey, Jake, you shouldn't trade on days that you're feeling emotional. I was like, fuck off. I'm smarter than you. And they're like, oh, Jake, you shouldn't trade on days that it looks like it's going to be choppy or an inside day. Fuck off. I'm smarter than you. Eventually I realized, oh my God, I'm not smarter than them. I should listen to what their opinions are. Some days I would make money on those days. A lot of days I wouldn't. Started to come down to the fact that I routinely see the best of the best traders take the same days off or have roughly similar schedules when it comes to trading. And it does not include trading every day. It's a harsh reality, especially for those of you, including myself for many years, who are paying for a service. I still pay for many, Benzinga, all this. I pay for like 10,000 trading subscriptions. I should feel obligated to trade on a daily basis, right? I don't at all. No, I don't fucking care, right? Like, and I highly, highly recommend that everyone starts to try and sear that thought process into their brain, because the quicker that you get over that hurdle, the easier this becomes, right? It truly does, right? So today, from the beginning on, from early on in the day, I'm curious what exactly time it was. At 6:34 a.m., 4 minutes into the market open, I said, everybody just wait, no FOMO. Then 19 minutes into the market open, I closed my swing trade and I said, I'm just sitting out for the rest of the day. And then at 7 a.m., I gave another update about SPY being at the opening print right here, blah, blah, blah. And I basically said, I think it's going to be choppy for the rest of the day. So by 30 minutes into the day, hopeful that everybody had fucked off or been in the process of fucking off, meaning that they did not put themselves in any trouble today. If I saved one port from being blown today, I did my job in a very beautiful way, right? And I will be proud of that, truth be told. I think that that's exactly what us in the trader Instagram world should be doing, is teaching you all the right way to trade from a full-time trader. And the right way to trade is not trade every day. So that being said, I don't have anything else. Just a quick little 15-minute psychology talk. Tomorrow, I think, is going to be interesting. We have an inside bar on the daily. This can be played in either direction. I think a failure pattern would be nice to kind of lead it off. Like if we got a sweep beneath these lows that then rallied back and got back above the opening print and back above the previous day's low, then all of a sudden we could potentially put a nice green bar on the daily, close this weekly chart with a nice green bar. I would like that. I think that would be a fun price action way. And the week, but I'm going to size down pretty dramatically. Now that the market is closed, I'm going to initiate a withdrawal on my interactive brokers, which means that those funds won't be available to me tomorrow. They won't process till Saturday, which means that from the account that I move in and funds in and out of my Interactive Brokers account, I'm shit out of luck if I want to try and size up on anything. And I think that's the right way to handle tomorrow. So I'm going to be here. I'm going to be active. I'll wake up. I'm going to work out. I'm going to go through my routine because I do think that the market can present a potentially risk on opportunity. But I'm sizing down. For reference, this week I traded with like a 40 to 50K account. I'm now going to size back down to like a 10K account for tomorrow or a 5K account and just keep it very, very light and see if I can, make some lunch money and have a good day and then go off in the weekend nicely. But it's been a very solid week. We've had some trades that have drawn down more than we would have wished. Two in particular, Netflix on Monday, then Airbnb on Wednesday. Both those trades ended up yielding a 50 to like 80% gain. So the patience was indeed worth it. The R multiple on the trade ended up being worth our time in both cases. And that is really what matters to me, at least 2-1 on that. So, and with those two trades that drew down, we're now 5 for 5 on the week for me personally. So I'm a happy camper. I feel no need to really like force the issue and push it tomorrow. I am going to be here. I'm going to be actively trading. I'm going to be looking for trades. But if I only find something small that ends up being a loser, it's not going to bother me. If I find something small that ends up being a winner, I'm going to be a happy camper. But it's more going to be about process rather than profits for me tomorrow. My focus tomorrow is going to be making sure that I go through my pre-market routine, my daily routine, and everything sort of the same way that I do every day, and keep my habits, keep my good structure, keep through that. And yeah, that being said, I still have this sore throat, and if this shit doesn't go away soon, I might just sleep in. So we'll see. So I love you all so much. I'm done smoking joints for the week because I got this sore throat, illy, and we'll talk soon. Okay. That being said, if you enjoyed this little psych session, just give me a yeah in the chat. I always love to do this. If you enjoyed this psych session and you're still on, a quick yeet, yeet, yeet would go a long way. I love you all. Yeet, 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 yeet. Have a great day, everybody. I hope you all stayed safe today, okay? I will post this recording for the whole world because I think it's important. Peace. Yeet, yeet, yeet. Cheers, gang. I appreciate you all for real.